Day before he left for Afghanistan, we got the same tattoo. A small blue star on our right shoulder. Probably seems like a weird thing for a mother and son to do, or so my ex loves to tell me. That's not right. No mother and son should be getting tattoos like that. But then again, he didn't raise him, so what does he know? Last time Brian was at home on leave, he told me, Mom, I've seen things. And that made me really sad, you know, because you want to know the world your boy has seen. You want to see it first, you know? You want to be the first to go into the dark and make sure there's nothing scary in it. And if there is something scary in it, you want to be the one who makes it safe again. So it's just frustrating when you can't do that. Because it's what a mother does, you know? And knowing that you can't, well, it's just hard. But as my ex says, Brian's a grown man. You should be proud of him. Well, I am proud. So proud. I'm proud of all my children. But he's my soldier. Life on the line was never going to be enough for Brian like it was for his daddy. He always wanted something more. Brian was never going to have no life of fixing windshield wipers onto trucks. Brian was an EMT after high school for a little while, but even that wasn't enough for him. Then he calls me up one day. He says, I found my calling, Ma, he said. I'm going to join the Army, and I'm going to serve my country. Well, I just about fell off my chair. All I could think was, we're at war. You're going to war. He did 3.5 months at Fort Carson, and then he was gone. Now, working as an EMT in Detroit, that's no piece of cake. That keeps a mother up at night. But it's nothing like this. Nothing at all. This is like constant, all of the time. From waking to sleeping, and even when you're sleeping, because then you're dreaming about it, and you spend half your time trying not to look at the TV or newspapers, and the other half wondering, why does nobody care? Where is everyone? And then one day, there's a knock at the kitchen door. I'm standing in the kitchen when it comes. I'm fixing dinner when I hear it. The knock, the doorbell. There's 3 of them. That's how they come, in 3s. 2 in dress greens and a chaplain. They come like that, you know? And my name, they're saying my name, and then they're saying his name. Brian, what? No. I don't understand. I can't hear. There's water in my ears. I faint. I fall over. And then they say his name again, Brian. That's when I rip their eyes out with my nails, with my teeth. I want to go back in time. I want to stop time. But wait, this isn't real. I'm just imagining it. So if it is real one day, I'm prepared. My ex laughs when I tell him, you're being a damn fool, you know, dotting, tattooing. Brian is 22 years old. He laughs. He laughs at me. You know what? F you. F you. Because I will do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I will tattoo 22 stars across my back, 1 for each year of his life, 23 stars, 24. I will tattoo and tattoo, 75 stars, 80 stars, and everything will be okay and he will live. I will tattoo the whole night sky across my back and everything will be okay and he will live and he will live. There will be hundreds of stars and my soldier will come home.
Pretty bridal shop.
Oh yeah, I think it's the nicest. We've been to them all.
First for me. Who are you waiting for?
My daughter. She's already picked out some dresses.
My daughter-in-law invited me.
Your daughter-in-law included you? Wow.
Lorraine's a lovely girl. Best thing to happen to our son. He says it all the time. Best thing ever.
My son-in-law's a doll.
Lorraine's a baker.
He's an attorney.
We're so lucky.
We are.
I'm never gonna see my son again, am I?
Probably not.
Is there anything I can do?
There's a few things.
Help me, please.
All right, rule number 1, you give her space, miles of it. You have some advice you want to give her? Write it down and then burn it. Rule number 2, she knows him better than you do. She thinks that, he thinks that, now everybody thinks that. Get used to it. Rule number 3, everything she does is fine with you.
She makes chocolate chip cookies with happy faces on them.
You love those cookies.
She wears knee socks with her dresses.
You love those knee socks.
I don't think I like her, but I want her to love me.
Yeah, good luck.
I love my son. There must be something I can do.
He's hers now.
You know this?
I know it for a fact.
How?
Now tell me, how often does your husband go to see his mother?
I'm gonna be different. She's going to love me.
You go, girl.
You'll see.
I mean, she did invite you here today.
She doesn't know I'm here.
What?
I overheard her telling a friend about the appointment, and I thought I'd show up and surprise her.
Oh my God.
What should I do? She'll be here any minute.
I already told you what to do.
Now? That starts now?
Rule number 1.
Torch my advice.
Rule number 2.
I don't exist.
And if you don't exist...
I'm not here.
Exactly.
You know what? To hell with the rules. They're archaic. They perpetuate the lack of communication between mothers-in-laws and daughters-in-laws.
A blonde wearing happy face knee socks just walked in.
Bye!
After my divorce became final, I moved back in with my mom. As part of the settlement, my ex-wife got the house. My mom was living alone. She said, come and stay with me for a while. I'll give you a little bit of breathing space until you figure out what you want to do with your life. So I did. She was standing on her doorstep when I first pulled up in the car, and the first thing she said to me was, I don't want to be called Betty anymore. I want to be Elizabeth. That's my name, of course, but everyone's called me Betty, and I don't know why. Elizabeth says something, but Betty's just, ugh. I said, sure, Mom, I'll call you Elizabeth, and I hugged her hello. But shortly after, I realized my mother barely went out. So I asked, why don't you go out anymore? She brushed me off. Well, I like staying home. I said, Mom, you're not being very truthful. What's going on? Well, I'm a homebody now. What? And she got really upset. Well, I can't remember anybody's names. I get into a room full of people and I go blank. It's too stressful. And I can't remember what anyone has said to me 1 week to the next. I don't want to talk about this right now, Bobby. Please, subject closed. In the evening, though, she tapped on my bedroom door. I'm sorry, sweetheart, how I shouted at you. I said, there's no need to apologize, Mom. You're frustrated. I understand. But I couldn't get to sleep thinking about it. Living at home, though, I noticed the first thing my mother did in the morning was turn the television on, and the last thing she did at night was shut it off. And she was now participating in it. So one evening, I walk into the house, and she's sitting there on the couch with her home phone in one hand and her cell phone on the other. And I said, what are you doing with 2 phones in your hands? Voting. I said, voting? For what? American Idol. Well, why do you need 2 phones? Well, I'm voting for my David. I've got both phones on redial, and I'm voting for him over and over again. He's so talented, Bobby. He's got to win. I'll be so upset if he doesn't. And I said, Mom, do you have a little crush? She got all defensive. Oh, don't be ridiculous, Bobby. Please, I'm 51 years older than he is. I said, oh, okay, so you've done the math. Well, when you're finished voting for your boyfriend, I have an idea I'd like to talk to you about. So I sat her at the kitchen table, and I asked, did you have anything to eat today? Of course I did. Well, what did you have? A cookie. I said, Mom, you can't just live on television and cookies. I think you're vegetating. No wonder you feel like you're losing your mind. You barely use it anymore. We gotta get you on a better diet. What was the last thing you read? She said, I read. I was like, okay, what? What was the last thing you read? Well, I read an article on whether Kirstie Alley's weight gain is linked to Scientology. Okay, Mom, I think I have an idea. And don't just say no without considering. But I think you should go to night school. You used to love reading. She said, okay. Well, whatever you think is best. So I filled in all the paperwork and enrolled her as Elizabeth Barnes. I'm so excited to be going as Elizabeth again, she said. It feels like a fresh start. But when the first day of school arrived, I couldn't get her out of the house. We had an absurd showdown in the kitchen. I said, Elizabeth, get in the car. She said, why are you calling me Elizabeth? I'm your mother. Call me Mom. Elizabeth, Mom, we're gonna be late for school, so please get your books and get your bag and get in the car. She said, I don't want to go today, I'll just go tomorrow. Mom, I said I had a long ass day at work, so please just get in the car. She had 3 hours of classes, and I was a nervous wreck. I parked outside the college and waited until she came out, until finally, 9:30, she appeared, and she got in the passenger seat. Oh my goodness, she said. I have to read Sherwood Anderson's Winstonburg, Ohio by Thursday. I haven't made it to the end of a book in over 20 years. But I'm gonna do it. I am. She patted my leg. Well, then I asked, how many people were in the class? She shrugged. I don't know, 6, maybe 11. But she didn't say anything else for the rest of the car ride. The following evening, we were in the kitchen, and she was standing at her window looking into her yard. She went quiet for a while and seemed as if she were looking out into another world. So I asked, what are you thinking about, Mom? She said, you know what I was just thinking, Bobby? I was just thinking. I don't want to be called Betty anymore. I want to be Elizabeth. People called me Elizabeth when I was a little girl, but as soon as I became an adult, I became Betty. I want to be Elizabeth again. And I said, sure, Mom. I'll call you Elizabeth. Now sit up at the table and do your homework. And I thought, I can't leave her alone. I can't move out. She sat there reading, gently tapping her lip with a pencil, and I made us some dinner. But when I looked back at her, she was drawing cartoon birds in the margins of her notebook. And oh my God, I thought, I used to do that in school.